All right. What's up, you dirtbags? This is the big episode 100. The episode you're about to hear just got done recording it. Obviously, as you guys saw on the thumbnail and the title, we have the man, the OG dirtbag, Mr. Luke Payne, back on the show. It was just an incredible episode. As I was going through and thinking about who should be on this episode 100, um, there's no perfect person, as you guys know, than to have Luke Payne on and have that reunion episode. So as you guys listen, I hope you enjoy it. As we're going through the episode, I think we burned off like probably an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half. And just like old times, we had a couple drinks, we caught up, went on a couple little rants here and there, and uh, just had a great time. So, perfect way to celebrate 100 episodes of the Dirtbags podcast. Actually, the last time I had recorded with Luke, as you guys will hear in the episode, was August 24th, 2024. So we picked up right where we left off, I feel like. And, with all of this, can't thank you guys enough listening. We wouldn't be here still doing this almost 3.5 years later, 100 episodes later, if it weren't for you guys listening. You guys listening, our guests, Luke Payne, our producer, Brandon, Keegan, doing all the shorts and the TikToks and YouTube clips. Of course, as you guys know, our wonderful sponsors that help the show, Charlie Huff with construction insurance, Eljen Corporation, and of course, Sludgehammer. The more you guys interact with them, the more it helps us continue this show. So we appreciate it a ton when you guys shoot them a follow, shoot them a message, use their services if it makes sense, and just let them know that you've been listening to the show and that you heard their business on the episode. So I think you guys, if especially for those that have listened to the podcast for a long time, I hope you love this episode. It really brought me back as well to some of the early episodes, recording with Luke, and it just, all felt right in the world. And we dove into the situation of why we split and how we did it exactly, and went into more of the details from my side, from Luke's side, and just excited for you guys to listen in, celebrate 100 episodes, and just know that I think we got 100 more in us, and we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to keep her moving. So with that, I hope you enjoy this episode 100. We are doing a big giveaway for 100 episodes. We're going to give away, let's say, we'll do a $500 cash giveaway. And to enter, all you have to do is post a story on your Instagram and tag the Dirtbags, just that you're listening to this episode. So a lot of you do this already. Of course, we will reshare it on our Dirtbags Instagram, but that will get you entered in to win our $500 giveaway, just to celebrate 100 episodes of the Dirtbags podcast. So just a reminder, just shoot a picture, a screenshot, whatever that you're listening. You're listening in the truck, you're listening in the skid steer, whatever it might be. Post it on Instagram. Make sure you tag at Official Dirtbags Podcast, and we will enter you in to win the $500. I will just announce this 2 weeks later on episode 101 of who won the $500. So if you want to do that, that would be awesome. And then let's dive right into it. This is episode 100 of the Dirtbags Podcast with the man, Mr. Luke Payne. Let's cue the music. Let's have a great day. Let's go. All right. What's up, you dirtbags? My name is Luke Egebrotten. I am the host of the Dirtbags Podcast, and this is our very, very special episode 100. And as you guys saw, we have the most special guest we could ever have on the show today. I want to welcome in Mr. Dirtbag himself, Luke Payne. How are we doing, man?
Cheers, brother. How are you doing? What a blur through time it is to be back.
Dude,
we're coming up on our year from when we stopped recording, I believe.
Yep. So I looked back. We had you on the podcast. It was August 23rd, 2024. So if you guys are
Jeez.
listening, go back, listen to that one. That was the last time Luke and I had even recorded together. Um, Maybe for some newer listeners that don't know, Luke and I started the podcast back in 2022. I think we recorded 70 or 80 some episodes together, and obviously just had an absolute ride the whole time. When we were looking ahead here at episode 100, and I was thinking about, who would be the perfect guest, who do we want to have on? Couldn't think of a better person than to be reunited with you. So thank you for being on the show. Excited to dive into everything here and just, treat it like old times.
Dude, I'm honored. It's our centennial episode. 100
Yeah.
episodes, centennial. Oh man, what a year. It's actually Cat's centennial year too. So that's got to be some sort of coincidence. I don't know.
They came out, is that for their centennial? They came out with that gray, right? From the
Yeah, it's their
factory.
100 years of being in business, I would assume, or since they're from producing. But yeah, it's their gray and black series.
Yeah. It's because Western started with that, right?
Started with Cat.
No, with that gray. Didn't you have a piece that was that steel gray?
That was gonna be kind of like our color, but we didn't have any machines that were gray. We were gonna get some skids, but they would have taken too long, so we just went with yellow.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we've just stuck with that so far. We've had a couple pieces that have been colored, but now it's a lot easier to just not paint them.
Yeah. No, I know last time we talked about that, which is probably, 2 years ago now or so. It and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but logistically, like when you buy a machine, you kind of need it at that time. So
when you need it, yeah, you can't wait for 3 months for it to get painted.
Yeah, and then the cost is another factor, of course. But when you buy a machine, you're like, okay, I need to get this thing in the field, and so I totally see where you're coming from there. It's easier when you might have one piece or two pieces, but when you start building your fleet, it becomes a little more difficult.
It becomes a lot more difficult, and like you said, just logistically, it doesn't really make sense. The iron's used to be used; it's a tool.
Yeah,
put it in the dirt.
Yeah. So we got obviously special episode here.
Got our drinks, dude.
What are you drinking right now? I mean, and for clarification, this is the Tuesday after WeFest. So I put the ball in your court. I'm like, are you having a couple tonight? I totally get if you're not, but I mean, you're back.
We're back. I would never miss a drink opportunity with my favorite Luke Egerbraten. Speaking of that, your dad at WeFest, he was a hoot. Oh, what a dude. Saw him he's just the funniest guy out there. He was so fun to see there.
Oh man. So you guys were in like that VIP area, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they always get tickets there. And then I saw he did the national anthem before Cody Johnson Saturday.
Yep. Absolutely killed it.
Man, that picture, and maybe I'll send it to Brandon here and he can pull it up on YouTube. But there's he's just singing the national anthem. Everyone's got the hand on the heart, hats off, the military up on stage. It just gets me going. What a great picture.
Dude, it's a great picture. So cool for him to be singing that and obviously have his, law enforcement roots. And it's just super cool.
Yeah. So, I've got pulled out the special Woodford Reserve, and nice. I think the last time I've probably had a glass of this was probably one of our podcasts. So
probably,
it's very, very special, and excited to dive into it more here and see what kind of damage we do. So
yeah, I did not come prepared, because normal episodes back in the day, I would have like 3 on deck and just kind of cycle through them through the episodes. I only got 1 on me tonight, so I'll have to make it last.
Yeah, it's probably not the worst thing. So a lot of changes, and I was trying to think of like where we want to start this episode. Obviously, people listening have listened to me over the last year. They kind of know a lot of our updates with Phaser, things like that. But with you, I mean, give us a snapshot. Western Excavation, where are you guys at today? And then obviously we can dive into, what the last year has brought about, some of the things you've learned, and also, of course, some of the business lessons as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, from August to August, there's been a lot of changes, right? We'll start back in 2024, right? That was our Jordan year. That was kind of our breakout year, to where all we wanted to do was just chase revenue, right? We were going after anything and everything that we could trying to get really good margins, really good numbers to everything, and we succeeded with it. Um, we were hiring anybody and everybody that was in the industry and paying them top dollar for what we could afford. And yeah, man, we took off. I mean, we did some really fun projects. We had a lot of high stressful situations in 2024,
Yeah.
but we made it through. So that's been fun. Um, Coming into 2025, we kind of took a step back and we're like,
Mhm.
okay, there was a lot that didn't work here this year. We had operationally, just in kind of throughout the company, we had a lot of inefficiencies with communication. We had a lot of inefficiencies with, execution of projects. And we're like, okay, how do we hone this? How do we hone this back? How do we get out of the revenue
Mm,
chasing mentality?
chasing.
Yeah. And so we got rid of quite a few team members. And we really kind of focused on where our weak points were and then finding the right people for those areas. We still need to invest a lot into learning certain things with, having these guys learn certain things throughout. But I think where we are now, I mean, we're tracking very similar of what we were last year in revenue, but we're so much more efficient just
Yeah.
because we're aligning things where they need to be. We've got a way better office side, right? We have a lot more
Mhm.
structure with our bidding, our project management. We have our accounting team. I've got Becky and Carmen on the accounting side right now, and they are so awesome.
So
It's
awesome.
Dude, I love it because like they are so on it with everything, tracking receipts, project profitability, weekly reportings, all of
Mhm.
that. It's just super fun to have. And then we actually took on a VP of business development this
Is
year.
that Trav?
That's Trav.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Trav joined us in, what is it? Was it January or February?
Yeah.
I think around that time. And, dude, it's been great. It's crazy in our industry, the amount of follow-ups that people don't do and of
Mhm.
just like having communication with customers, clients, general contractors, whatever it might be. And Trav's really helped kind of formulate different roles and relationships with Western to where we can start growing a lot better relationships with these people to where we never had that, right? Cole or myself, we never had really the opportunity to take that time and kind of nourish those relationships to where now that's a huge focus for us.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that too. We went through a similar shift. I 2 months ago, I gave up all of our selling at Phaser. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
sell anymore. And with Travis in this role, as you were talking about with you and Cole, you guys can't give it the focus that these relationships deserve. And that's what I
Right.
wrote down because it, yes, you can still be there. You can still build these relationships as the owner, but you're also pulled in so many other ways that to
Mm-hmm.
have somebody that follows up with these projects, with these relationships that can, at the drop of a hat, be there for anything. I mean,
Yep.
that is huge. And correct me if I'm wrong too, but I don't see that a lot within construction at the smaller construction level is like
No,
a business development or a VP of business development.
dude, you don't see them. I mean, I know $100 million companies where the owner's still doing that, which great. If you can
Yeah.
do that and you have those relationships, do it. But for a starting out company to where we got such a big reach, it's nice to have kind of someone in that forefront to be, checking in with people, following up for bid tabs, seeing where we landed, contacting these general contractors. Hey, do you have anything coming up? We're looking at our bid schedules. We want to make sure that we're kind of aligning with the right projects
Yeah.
and so on. And just like the presence is really cool.
Yeah.
There's a story we took on this. It's a truck stop in Fargo that we won the bid on, and Trav put together. Well, I should say Trav and Jameson and Carmen kind of put together our whole like we call it like our presentation or portfolio packet of like who Western is, what projects we've completed. We have like our certificate insurance, our
Mhm.
bonding, our EMR rates, and kind of all encompassing of what Western excavation is. And so that's what won us that project with that general contractor. We've never done any work with them, but they said they were most impressed with our presentation. So we won it. Trav, he went up to Grand Forks because this is where this company is based out of the ownership group. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to stop by. I'm going to bring him, some sweatshirts and
Heck
shirts
yeah.
and some hats and just, thank him for the opportunity to work with him. And hopefully we can work with him again. And dude, he called me right after and he's like, Luke, that was the most fun conversation I've ever had.
Wow.
Oh, it's a small family run business and the whole entire family works in it. It's called Northdale Oil. They're a oil and gas company out of Grand Forks, and they're putting up kind of these C-store truck stops kind of throughout the Midwest. And the owner just loved talking to Trav. He said he could have stayed there for like 4 hours and just chatted with him. And he's like, Luke, I have never felt so much more, I've never felt so confident until I came out of that conversation. Yeah, just the whole family. He said he was just enthralled.
Man, that's incredible. Is that Mac Construction is up there as well in Grand Forks, right?
Yep. So that's the general contractor, and this is our first project with them, and they're a great group of dudes too. And Trav's been really kind of involved with getting to know those guys, and
Nice.
yeah, I mean, it's for people in construction. I would, if you can look at somebody in that role, do it, right? Because the owner can't do it all, and it's one of our biggest. I shouldn't say one of our biggest blessings, but yeah, I mean, our entire team that we have going into 2025 and 2026 is our biggest blessing. So yeah, we appreciate it all around.
Absolutely. And I have a couple things that just spurred in my brain there is, well, for one, keeping it non-transactional. And I think it helps when it's somebody else that maybe, and I don't know how you pay Trav, but maybe it's non-commissioned. It's just like, yeah, just build relationships and, don't chase the dollar. But there's that. And then I'm curious from your perspective, how do you prevent scope creep? And what I mean by that is you hire somebody, let's say in the office, or you hire somebody to do business development. How do you prevent from stretching them thin of like, hey, jump in the dozer. Hey, go run this to the office. Hey, go do this and that, and having them do jobs that kind of stretch them thin, if you know what I mean. So how do you keep them focused on the role you hired them for?
You hire them for the role that you're looking for, not the role that you might need to fulfill, right? Mm-hmm. Trav has never sat in a piece of equipment, so there's no way in hell I would trust him on a job site. True. So that eliminates that. But I mean, it could go both ways, right? But yeah, if you're going to do it, you got to fully invest into it too. That person's got to be present. And I mean, they get the fun job, honestly. They get to go golfing. They get to go to lunches with these general contractors. They get to go to happy hours, so it's kind of a unicorn position, but it's a way to invest in future projects and future relationships that, what might take us 2 years to curate, what takes others 10 years,
Yeah. Yeah. And you'd mentioned your office and your accounting team, and how huge is that to have people in your company that you trust? And what I wanted to ask you is, did you have, when you first started bringing in team members into the office, did you have any, I guess, troubles relinquishing some of that trust to the office staff? Yeah.
I still do. Like Carmen is this badass lady, and she'll be like, Luke, fucking knock it off. You're doing too much. Like, kind of like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I love that about her. She kind of calls me out on my bullshit, which I need. So, and that helps kind of take those responsibilities away. But I mean, I think every owner can relate to, of just like, oh, I'll just do it. It's not a big deal. I can do it. I know what to do. So, but yeah, they don't realize what it takes them, or what those tasks can take them away from too. That's more important.
Absolutely. And also too, you want to, in my opinion, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you want to gradually improve, and it's not just going to happen overnight. And so I think that is also how you can get in trouble, is if you just let everything go one day and just say, here, you take it. I'm not going to look at it. So I think just like, it should be hard to relinquish a lot of these responsibilities with whoever you hire, but it should be gradual and like, here, take these responsibilities. Okay. Now that you've done really well in those or perfected those, okay, now we're going to go to the next one. And then you start to clear up your plate a little bit just to add more stuff on, which is the life of a business owner, which is why it's so exciting.
It is so exciting. And I feel like that's the fun of business too, because feel like as the owner, your position's always changing, and
Yeah,
it's fun to be able to adapt. So,
man. Yeah. When it comes to adapting and innovating, I mean, when you look ahead, I think you made a good point of, 2024 is your Jordan year. 2025 or so was like, kind of the reset year. Like let's uh, reset and then grow again potentially. But do you see ahead in 2026 or the future, or how does that
oh
look
yeah,
moving forward? And what are your thoughts on, what your company will look like?
yeah. I mean, 2026 is all about figuring out different ways to incentivize people in within the company, right? So we're
Mhm.
developing new KPI structures that we can implement for the guys.
Hmm.
Me looking into that, I'm thinking, okay, if I can develop the structure, the company can be more profitable, and the guys in the field or the office or the estimating team are paid on these KPI structures. We're going to be able to, one, retain people a lot better,
Yeah.
and two, attract more people for our growth to kind of, do that exponential growth, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind touching on the KPI structures? It's something we don't talk about a whole lot on the podcast, but it's something that we're implementing as well. And key performance indicators is what a KPI is. But curious on the construction side, like what you've seen is like what are some KPIs you'd like to see or measure?
Yeah, so I mean, we had a really in-depth conversation with this today. So I'll start with like the field. The field is going to be, performance based or performance indicated based on production, right? We bid based on timelines, we bid based on production rates, days, hours, crew sizes, everything like that. So the guys doing the actions, right, will be able to track those cost codes where they're clocking into on their app, right? And say we have 10 days to put our water line in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guys do it in 7.5. So what we will do, Carmen and Becky, they'll then take that cost savings of that, what is that, 2.5 days
Mm-hmm.
of labor, mobilizations, per diem, hotels, and equipment cost. And they'll add that up all together. And then the guys get a percentage paid back to them of those savings.
Really?
Yeah. So we're still in the formulation phase of this right now, but
Yeah.
we're planning to roll this out in 2026 on all of our projects, and then like the office side of things. Jameson,
Yeah.
Cole, Trav, Andy, whoever it is going to get bonus based on profitability of the projects,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
You
Yeah, and
know,
obviously what that does is it promotes accuracy, efficiency,
Mhm.
productivity, and it's like, okay, if we're out here, let's get this done and let's get it done right because
Yep.
and you mentioned it too, even the other fees that go into it, mobilization and
Hmm.
labor rates and per diem and hotels, like these are all costs that can be saved. But as you're bidding a project, you have to account for
You
uh,
do.
or I guess maybe I don't know as much about that, but you have to account for a little bit of margin there. So not everything always
Oh,
goes perfect all the time.
absolutely. You gotta have an overage, right? You
Yeah.
gotta have an overage percentage based on kind of every portion of the project. But your market will tell you where that overage is going to be based on your bids. So
Yeah.
then you just
Right.
have to adapt from there.
All right, you dirtbags. Before we get back to the episode, I want to give a quick shout out. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Sludgehammer, the global leaders in sustainable wastewater treatment. Sludgehammer revolutionizes wastewater treatment with non mechanical aerobic bacterial generators, or ABGs, simple, durable, and built for sustainability. At the core, they have their Sludgehammer blend, which is a proprietary bacterial inoculum engineered to restore and enhance biological performance in septic systems. Try saying that 3 times fast. There's no moving parts, just powerful, natural microbiology doing the heavy lifting. If you are in the septic industry and you've never tried Sludgehammer, reach out to them, let them know you heard about them on the podcast, ask if you can try some of their products, maybe get a demo, and they will take great care of you. Reach out to them on Instagram, shoot them a follow at Sludgehammer Group Ltd, or you can check out their website, sludgehammer.net. Tell them you listen to them on the podcast. You can even reach out to Will from Sludgehammer. They are amazing people, and we can't thank Sludgehammer for sponsoring this episode 100. Let's get back to it.
But I think that's going to be a really cool thing for 2026. Again, the team members that we got are just phenomenal now. So it'll be fun to really incentivize them, have them make more money, and honestly, go out and tell people about it.
Yeah.
Because if they've got a lot of friends in the industry, if they hear it, I hate to say that I'll take people from other companies, but if somebody has a better opportunity, take it.
Yeah. And I like that way of doing business as well, as far as the money has to come from somewhere. Like it can't just in a business appear out of nowhere and like, yeah, I'll just give you these big raises and these huge bonuses. But when you give everyone ownership like that, it's like, yeah, we can get this done. And there's a little bit of clarity and transparency of this is how this structure will work. It pushes everyone to be a bit better and to get it done on time, or quicker, but higher quality, of course, and more efficient.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, we did some numbers today on it, and it was really cool. We took a job that we recently bid and broke out the pipe side of things, right? Mm-hmm. So water, sewer, storm. And if we were to save, I think it was 2 days off that entire portion of it, we would save right around like $16,000 or something. Mm-hmm. And that's just on the utility side. Think about what we could save on the earth side. So then we went and formulated, we're like, okay, say we have an average of $30,000 of additional savings per project, right? That's an additional, and say you take on 20 projects in a year, right? That's an additional $600,000 that you can save and then also incentivize your company with.
Yeah. And that's just for doing great work. This isn't for, that's what I love about it. It's you're giving honest bids and you're making honest estimates. And then this is just being great. And
to be really good at your craft.
Yeah. To be really good at your craft and to not have to go back and fix all these things and to get it done right the first time.
Yep. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that. But as far as like work, obviously we're going to be, I think this year so far, we've sent out close to 300 bids. I think, again, we have 20 active projects that we won so far. Our goal is 25 throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then, so we're going to take that data, kind of dissect it through the winter. And I don't want to say more selective going into 2026, but kind of, right? We want to be able to take the relationships that we've kind of built from 2025, go into 2026, look at the right opportunities with the right margins and go from there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's just, and that's such a blessing to be in that position, to be with the right people, to be with good people. And that comes from all over. That comes within your team, as you've been talking about. That comes with the right partners, as far as the vendors, the GCs, the subs, like whoever you end up working with. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the field production or the field KPIs. Are there any other KPIs you're tracking for any of the other team members?
Yeah. So like the office side, they'll get bonus based on like the profitability. If you take Jameson, Cole, because those two are kind of more so on the estimating on PM side, right? You add Andy into that mix. He's our operations manager. He should be bonus based on all of the project's profitability too, because he does the scheduling, he does the logistics. Sometimes he's even on them. So it makes sense to figure out, whatever that is, a percentage. We haven't quite figured that out yet. And then this is a fun one, the accounting side. We want to KPI the accounting side with faster collection of receivables, right?
Nice.
Hey, if you can get a customer to pay within 35 days of the invoice sent versus the 60 days, we're going to go back, look at what the lending basis would have been based on that overall, and you'll get incentivized by that.
That is so interesting, because we've had so many conversations about this, but you're already owed the money, but the quicker it's in your hands, the better. And probably one of the biggest issues in construction is collections. And so to have somebody in the office that focuses on that, but then to incentivize it, because the money's already owed. It's like, but if you can get it quicker, that only helps your business.
It only helps. And then, it dives a little bit deeper into like contract reviews. If you can cross out certain things like, the owner paid upon paid, get rid of that, put a net 45. After that net 45, there's an interest rate associated with it. You're getting bonus based on that interest rate on late payables then, things like that. And then, another big one is like cost savings, trying to like, again, Carmen just being the stud she is.
Ninja.
Right? Yeah. She'll probably go into like our fuel and she'll negotiate like our bulk fuel and she'll be able to save us 30 to 40 grand. If we buy a certain amount of fuel, she'll be able to dissect our numbers on our total fuel burn for 2025, right? Then she'll be KPI'd on that. So there's quite a few. And again, we're really dissecting the ones that we really want to go after. But I mean, it doesn't matter field or office. There's so many opportunities for savings and then payouts.
Yeah. And what gets tracked gets improved. And that's what
Correct.
I've always heard. And so regardless if you're bonusing, not bonusing, whatever, like if you're listening to this podcast right now, if you don't have any KPIs for any of your team members, you need to get some in. And
you do.
One of my favorite, I guess, activities or methods to figure out what some KPIs are is the scorecard method. And so we run on EOS, which is the entrepreneurial operating system. One of the things they do is say, okay, if you're the business owner and you're on a stranded island and you need to figure out how well your business is doing by an index card and only numbers, what metrics do you need to know? And when you put it like that, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So
that's simple.
It's simple. It's like, okay. And then you put those in there and then you assign who's responsible for that number. And so as you're going through this, it's not like Luke Payne, you're going to be the one to report that number. It's the accounting team, or it is Travis in business development, or it is the field team. And so you start to assign these leadership tendencies and these tasks, and then they own that KPI. And then
correct.
Of course, you take it the next step. And if there is a bonus tied to it, the whole company is clear on, hey, these are our goals as a company. If we hit these goals, that's good. And we can then provide more from that.
No. Yeah, dude, it's a rabbit
That's
hole.
Awesome.
You can go down a straight rabbit hole on the KPI systems and just the incentivization that you can do in business. But the hard part about it is everybody has to be on the same page and everybody has to buy into it.
Yeah. I mean, that's everything too. It's just, how do you get everyone on the same page first? And you'll probably have to have some difficult conversations of, do we have the right people on the bus right now? And
correct.
If, what gets you to 1 million doesn't necessarily get you to 5 million and then to 10 million and so forth. And sometimes you have to take a look at that and make some adjustments and some changes, but it can be some of the best decisions you make when you bring the right people into your business.
100%. And I'll be honest, they're going to show you what they're worth. So
yeah,
as long as you have the systems in place and the job duties outlined and the tools for them, it's up to them to sink or swim,
Yeah. Are you guys be doing a Christmas party this year?
We probably will. We did a Christmas party at Wild Rice last year, which is in close to where I live at. And it's like a little dive bar and the guys ate it up.
Blackjack?
Oh yeah, there's blackjack. I think everybody that played won like $300 to $400 that night.
No way. Did you so did you rent the place out or how does that work?
No, they wouldn't let us rent it out, but they have like this, like meeting room where like the event room. They're like, yeah, we'll just put you guys in there and nobody else will come in there. And we get it pretty full and there's like 3 tables open and the waitress starts seating people and we're like, yeah, you can just be a part of it. That's fine. Whatever.
That's awesome.
And it ended up being packed that night. So it was like a lot of our guys knew the people that came in. So it just made it even more fun. And yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. If you've never been to North Dakota, to paint the picture, because you wouldn't believe it if you've never been there, every bar, dive bar, big bar,
or some sort of gambling.
And I don't know for sure, but I think it's like a 501c3. It's like a nonprofit or
they're
something.
all nonprofits for like schools.
Yeah, like a federal
Hmm.
nonprofit, but it's legitimate blackjack, and every bar will have like one table or two tables or more. And so yeah, you'll just be like Luke, you and I had our Dirtbags Christmas party 3 years ago or so, and we had a couple drinks and had our Philly cheesesteaks, and then we gambled the rest of the night. So
And I don't think either of us came ahead that night, but it was still a
no,
lot of fun.
no. And then I remember I think it was the first time we ever paid ourselves a distribution. It was in Michigan, and we
At the septic conference.
at the septic conference, and I
Yep.
blew my entire distribution, which I mean, it wasn't a lot, but
But it was something to play with. I think
it was a few $100,
it was a
and
few $100.
had to borrow some money from you that night. But
I think my
uh,
favorite blackjack story is when me, you, Riley, and Olivia were in Vegas. Remember the one blackjack dealer that was just, he was awesome. And I think
oh yeah,
you almost hit like it was like $150,000 like mini bet or whatever.
which casino was that at? I remember the dealer,
That was after dinner. We went to dinner at was it the
the
Stratosphere?
Stratosphere, yeah, up top.
Yeah, it was after dinner. I don't remember the casino, but you and I were having
Yeah,
a ball.
the Stratosphere dinner was tough because we were just drinking whiskey the whole time, and the restaurant was spinning the entire time. So
You and I both walked in with hats on, and they're like, "Take those
yeah,
off," and we're like, "Oh, it's that kind of place."
I'm like, all right, sweet. So
Yeah.
there's a picture from that night too of us just like hat, hair, and the girls looking all good.
Oh, dude, it was terrible, but that was such a great dinner and such a fun night. I will
Yeah.
never forget that night.
Are you going to Con Expo
We
26?
are. We're going to be bringing a lot of our foremen, our office, and
Oh, right on.
we're gonna make a weekend out of it because they're bringing their significant others, and oh yeah, it'll be
That'll be a
fun.
blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you feel similar too because you're doing it. But the more travels that come up for business, like I just want more people from our team to be involved because
Hmm.
like I've gotten to do this a lot of times, and like travel to these conferences, and they're so fun. But it's way more fun when you have like your team or your people there,
100%. You make it
and
into a team bonding event, and you can just
for
like
sure,
hang out, and you do get to know them pretty well on those events.
especially because you're like out of the office and you're like,
Correct.
do you want to go do something else or do something
Yeah, I want to
fun? And
go have like 30 beers.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be a
sounds
good
good.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just actually booked my hotel last week. So the Con Expo registration is open for anyone listening. They just opened it up, I think, a couple weeks ago. And
I think there's 30% off until December 5th too with the code social 30.
Social 30 nailed it. Yeah. And there's a
Yeah.
couple, gosh, I wish I remembered who it was. There's a couple of the guys we know that have their special codes for 40% off.
Taylor's got one I know. I don't
Taylor,
know. I don't know
Dervin,
who
maybe
else.
with Dig It Excavating. I'd check with
Okay.
him. Um, but no, if you've never been to Con Expo, I was talking to Ben Cottingham today, and he's never been, and I was just like, he goes, sell me on it. I'm like, all right, it's like 3 million square feet of a show. It's in Las Vegas. Vegas is one of the easiest places to fly to. You can get a hotel like that. There's 150,000 people that'll be there that are in the industry roughly, and it's less of a like business conference feel, and it's more of a let's just go and have a good time.
It's like a celebration for blue collar workers.
Perfectly said.
Yeah. You get to look at all the machines that you had no idea that existed. Also, all the machines that you're like, damn, that's really cool, but that's also $1 million.
Yeah, because I think it's too big to be like so intimate and all
Yeah.
of that. And so what I love about it is like you and I will just show up and then you'll see who's all there and you'll just meet up somewhere after. And
Hmm.
like a central location, I mean, it's just so fun. So if you haven't been, definitely go. Are you going to any other shows or conferences or anything?
No, just Vegas for sure, as far as like a company trip.
That's probably all you need. I mean, that's
Dude,
quite the
that's
week.
Vegas is a 2 night town for me, that's for sure. So
How many
stay
nights
two
are you?
nights, probably two,
Okay, because
probably two.
right now it's funny you say that because uh, which I haven't mentioned yet. I just found out I'll be speaking again. So look for my name.
That's exciting.
I'll be speaking an educational session on employee retention, which I've done before and is super, super fun. But they gave me 2 nights in a hotel. And so
Awesome.
I booked them and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just tack on a couple more nights. And then I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of a 2-night Vegas guy too. So I might just go
Dip out after.
Tuesday and Wednesday night and maybe leave Thursday. I don't know.
Because does it start Monday or
So
does
I
it
thought
start
that
Tuesday?
I think it officially starts Tuesday, but
Okay.
I would check the website because I don't know for sure. I think everyone gets in on Monday and hangs out and stuff. But I think the show starts Tuesday and then it goes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I think Saturday, which I love Con Expo, but by Saturday I'm ready to.
It wore out.
I'm banged up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's probably what we'll do too is Tuesday through Thursday or Friday. I don't know if I could do Friday, so probably Thursday.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially too, like, not that it does matter, but you're bringing the whole team, all the plus ones, like it's expensive. And
Yep.
I think 2 nights in Vegas, most people are about done after that. So, get your fun in, get all the, everything you want to see and get all your meetings done. But, yeah, it'll be fun to see everyone there that, especially that listens to the show that, yeah, people that we've worked with, people that you've worked with, and just our teams will be there too. So it'll be a good time.
It'll be a good time. No, I'm looking forward to it. This kind of got me thinking of a topic as we were talking about Western, and what we talked before we hopped on was like the Great Reset is what we labeled it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You and I haven't really talked about like my exit through the dirt bags.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of like what you've done is like, it was a great, I don't want to say it was a great reset for you. I'm sure it was a pivot, but I mean, yeah, dude, it was kind of out of the blue too. I remember because there wasn't like any warning from me to you. It was just me kind of missing events or delaying events just because I couldn't get there. And then obviously the pregnancy of our youngest right now, Wes. And looking back at that, if I would have tried to keep it going into like October, November, dude, there's no way.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way. So like, talk about perfect timing for you and I, and just like the awareness of like, okay, no problem. Let's do this. Here's kind of what it entails and what we need. And I mean, I don't think you could draw it up any better than how you and I kind of like split. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, and obviously wanted to talk about that too on this episode because we have all the perspective. Like we went through it together, and I know one of the episodes, I think maybe it was just me. I talked about how it went and how it went super well, but not every partnership ends well. And so it's all dependent on the partner and like who you're partnered with and the person. And so regardless if we were to stay working together with the dirtbags or not, like I knew it was going to be fine regardless. And I'd love to dive into some of the details too that I don't think I mentioned before, but basically as we were going, like it was pretty evident it was getting tougher and tougher for you to be on the episodes. Yep. And for one, I'll say it's hard enough to record an episode every 2 weeks. As lame as that sounds, like, I mean, we're so busy that
it's tough.
It's tough.
It was really tough.
And then you don't want to disappoint the people listening. So you're like, yeah, I don't want to put out like a shitty episode. But then to add on top of that, like when you're working around 3 business owners' schedules, like so yourself, myself, and then the guest, that's not easy.
No.
And then as we kind of escalated into, I would say probably summer to fall of 2024, it became a lot tougher. Riley got pregnant, and you guys were expecting Wes, I believe, shortly after, a few months later. Yep. And like business was picking up and things like that. And so it couldn't have worked out any better because you and I had a conversation. It was almost like both you and I were thinking it.
Just we hadn't talked about it.
Yeah. And so we jumped on a call, and we were 50-50 partners in Dirtbags. Yep. And there was $26,000 in the Dirtbags bank account, and it was
Just
like a
split it.
5-minute conversation, and I was
Yeah,
like,
dude.
you were kind of backing off a little bit of like, I don't know how much more I want to be involved, and I was
Mhm.
maybe saying like, do you want to be involved at all? Like, could I
Mhm.
take some stress off of your shoulders? Because for me at the stage I was at, I was like, I'm more than willing to take 100% or 80-20 or 20-80 or whatever we want to do. And I think for you at the time, like kind of wiping your hands clean of like, man, we had a good run, keep it going. Uh, and for me to say like, I would be happy to take it over.
Mhm.
Did that help like the conversation or the decision at all? Or like, what were your thoughts during those conversations?
Dude, absolutely. Like I throughout the summer, I could tell. I'm like, I am not upholding, I'm not being a 50-50 partner, right? I'm not putting in the same effort that Luke is putting in. I'm not putting in the same time as Luke putting in. Me looking at that, I'm like, I would get frustrated if my partner wasn't doing that too. I would want to have a conversation of like, hey, either something's got to change or what's our next steps. And so that's kind of where my head went is like, well, I don't want to disappoint Luke. I don't want to be inconsistent to where it starts to decline and because of me.
Sure. All right, you dirtbags. I'm going to interrupt this episode 100 finale with a quick message from our guy, Charlie Huff. So, we want to talk insurance. I know it's not the sexiest topic, but stick with me because this is super important. If you're on an excavation, grading, landscaping, or any kind of dirt moving business, you know the right insurance can make or break you. And more importantly, it's who you work with in the insurance world. And that's where our guy, Charlie Huff, comes in. Charlie isn't just some random insurance guy, he's one of us. He grew up in a shop, worked in the trades, and now he's dedicated his career to protecting dirt world companies like yours. His team is full service, fast, and relentless when it comes to getting you the best coverage at the best price. A lot of you guys listening have already reached out to Charlie, gotten some free quotes, compared your current plans to his plans, and a lot of you guys have texted me saying you've switched over. So he's here to help companies just like yours get the right insurance to make sure you're covered in business. So reach out to him. His number is 435-764-4833. Let him know you're listening to the podcast and he will take great care of you. 435-764-4833. That's our guy, Charlie Huff. Now, back to episode 100 with the man, Luke Payne.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And to be clear on that too, like it was great of you to think that way because like it wasn't declining from my mind because it was so good, but for you to have the foresight to say like, let's have this talk before it declines. I mean,
yes.
it is great thinking there.
Well, you got to look ahead, right? You can't
For
look
sure.
at today. You got to look at next week and kind of almost forecast. But that was one of my biggest. And I know I had many conversations with Riley on it because she's like, "Well, Luke, why don't you just sell?" And I'm like, I can't because this is like Luke and I's thing, and
For sure.
we did this together, and it's the Luke and Luke show. And I mean, it was hard to let go, but I'm like,
yeah.
In order for it to succeed, well, and I shouldn't say in order for it to succeed, but in order for the consistency to stay there, I feel like it's more beneficial if I were to step away and you take over full control, and then it's in your hands. Then you get to do it. You get to do with it what you want, and then you don't have to rely on another partner not upholding their end of the bargain.
Yeah, and it was so funny like how the conversation went because it's almost like when you think of partners breaking, usually it's like one partner arguing for more money or more percentage, or it was almost the opposite. It was like, what do you think? How much do you want? I'm cool with whatever. What do you want to do? And we literally just split it right down the middle. We said, all right, we're 50-50 partners. I'll just send you 13,000 from the Dirtbags account. I'll take 100% ownership. We'll have you on as a guest here and there and keep it going really. Cause it's as much as it sounds like it's about us, we try and add value, entertainment, information, education to the listeners. And you mentioned this too, and you kind of reeled back on it, which I appreciate. Like it took off right away. Like when you and
Yep.
I started, which is very rare. It was very successful from the beginning.
We got a lot of attention,
And
which
that
was,
was,
I think, was really cool.
yeah. And that was awesome. I mean, it was just like, there was no question whether it was going to work or not.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, is just, can you keep up the consistency of what your 50% partner deserves, what the listeners deserve, what, just the podcast itself deserves. And
Yep.
I
The
think
sponsors deserve that's behind it and
sponsors. Yep.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Because
once you,
that was a big focus for you and I, was like, we want to make money with this. So we were pushing sponsorships of like, we want people to get involved for it to grow even more.
yeah, day one. I mean, actually, before day one, we're like, this
Yeah.
is going to be a business. That's why we registered Dirtbags Media LLC, and there's no shame in that. We're like, there's going to be revenue and there's going to be expenses. We've got, different softwares we pay for. We've got our producer Brandon. Shout out Brandon. He just got engaged.
Shout out Brandon.
We got Keegan doing the shorts and everything. And yeah, I mean, you have payroll and things like that. And I know we just didn't want to be like a fly by night,
No.
do it for fun podcast. We wanted to do it for fun, but also make money at the same time and treat it as a business.
Yeah. No, dude, it was fun. Like all the way up to 2024. But like when we started, like going back and listening to some of those episodes, I was like, holy shit, how did people listen to us?
Yeah.
But then, they gradually got better. And like the content started to evolve a little bit.
Yeah.
You and I evolved as like co-hosts, and just kind of like the mission of what we wanted to achieve with the podcast. And I feel like that's where really people started to get engaged on, not just the listeners, but these companies.
Yeah.
Of like, that's how you and I both got to speak at Con Expo. I feel like the first year, I think, well, yours was probably more phaser, but they knew about the dirt bags, which was really cool.
Yeah. And oddly enough, like people think or thought that it was well orchestrated or well organized, but every time we'd record, we'd jump on, we'd talk for 10 minutes and catch up and have a drink. And then we'd just start recording with no agenda. And even this one too, like I have a couple notes written down, but it's just like, we're just talking, having a good time. And like, oddly enough, that is what the eventual sponsors were looking for, is more organic content. And that is what our listeners seem to be looking for, is people that were just being real without asking tailored questions. And so it just worked out in our favor, where the less preparation we did and the more fun we had, the better.
Yeah. It's weird how that works out, but it's funny you bring up notes. Before this, I was having computer troubles. So obviously I'm on my iPad right now. And I was like, okay, I got to find my password, because I haven't been down to my office downstairs since our last recording. And I'm looking through some of our notes of like previous, people that we had on. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, God, how could I even read my writing? But it was just fun to kind of reminisce a little bit.
It's just, chicken scratch. And so many great memories. And I mean, to think that we're 100 episodes in, over 3 years of doing this podcast consistently. To my knowledge, there might've been one, but to my knowledge, I think we've hit every single episode. We started at 1 a month and then we ramped it up to 2 every single month. I guess I would love to go back a little bit. Do you have any favorite guests we have had on, favorite episodes, or any like memories from, we had a couple Dirtbags trips, but any favorite things from the Dirtbags that you want to talk about?
The ones that pop out to me the most are like yours and I's rants, right? Because remember, we would have we'd have like episodes just you and I, and then we'd have topics on what we want to talk about. Like those were always super fun, because it was almost like therapy. It was like, I'm just gonna let it loose here. I'm just gonna speak my mind, which in retrospect probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. And then, I love like every year now, me, Dylan, and Taylor, and then Will, we go on this snowmobiling trip, and all of those guys we kind of met through the Dirtbags.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, us four have a group chat, and we're kind of always in and out of it, talking about different things. And I'm like, I don't know if I would have met those guys if it wasn't for the podcast.
Dude, that's a great point, because remember the first time we had Dylan on the podcast, he was an employee.
Yep. And we made him quit his job.
I mean, I,
We kind of did. Remember, you and I hopped on a call with him after the podcast, and we're like, "Dude, you can do this yourself." Like, easy.
he started it though. I mean, he after the podcast, he's like, "Guys, am I doing this right?" And then
we were his devil's advocate, or we were his fucking devil on the right shoulder. We're like,
do it,
absolutely, dude. There's no problem.
To Dylan's credit, he's
killing it now, though.
He was one of the sharpest people I've ever interviewed or talked to or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and like he was an employee, but and I don't. So there's a lot of very very sharp people that are meant to be team members and employees that are much better doing that. And then there's people that are meant for like the craziness and roller coaster of entrepreneurship. Yep. And Dylan was that. And I was like, man, I feel like you could knock this out of the park. And sure enough, the next episode we had with him, he was on his own. He was a few months, I think, into his business.
That was within like 3 months, I'm pretty sure, from the first recording to the second.
D2 contracting. And now he's, now he's kind of a big deal in Michigan.
Now he's killing it. He was on Will sent us a picture today of Dylan as the face of ConExpo with the Social 30 in one of the parts magazines or something.
Dude, I was at, I think it was Payvex this year. I was speaking at Payvex, and so you know how they have like the big screen in the meeting rooms, and so I was like gonna test out my presentation. Mm-hmm. Dylan's face
shows up
is on there, and I sent him a picture. I'm like, did you approve this? And I don't, at the time, this was like in February or something. I don't think he knew, but his face is on all of the marketing materials.
That is hilarious. I think he can probably thank Taylor for that with his involvement with ConExpo and just AEM. But I mean, those guys are a hoot. So I don't want to discredit everybody. I loved every show that we did, but those are 3 episodes or 4 episodes that I'll always kind of take with me, and they've curated just a great relationship with us.
Yeah. And remember the first ever Dirtbags University we did, it was Taylor and Dylan were a couple of
We
did
a round table. Yeah.
Yep, the round table. And then Will was, I think a few later, we had Will on, but he always handcuffed us to, we wanted him on the podcast, but he always said,
he's like, you guys got to come down here
in person.
Yeah. Which, like, looking at it now, it would have been really cool to see his operation. But I was lucky enough to get invited to his wedding this past winter. And that was a blast. Me, Taylor, Dylan showed up in Canadian tuxedos. And oh, yeah, dude, we were having a blast. It was a good time.
What was that like? I mean, I saw the Canadian tuxedos. You get a lot of compliments on that?
A lot of compliments. I'm pretty sure Will had the mayor there. I don't know how impressed he was, but I mean, we were still having fun.
Of course. Who are these goofballs?
Yeah. Who invited these clowns?
Is anyone even from Canada? And Taylor's like, yeah.
Hey, right here, eh? Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a fun trip.
Man, that's awesome. Are you, are they going this year? Probably. I mean, obviously Taylor will be there, and I'm sure they'll.
I think they're all going from last I've heard. I believe they're all going. Because we haven't planned our trip yet this year, but I think we're going somewhere warm this year.
You guys gonna send the Uber for Will?
No. Well, I honestly, so last year Taylor didn't make it with us because his flights kept getting delayed, and so I think was it Chicago? It wasn't Chicago. Maybe it was like Atlanta or something. He got stuck, and the next flight wasn't going to come out till the morning. And so he's like, fuck it. I'm going to book myself a trip to Florida. So his dad met him down in Florida. And then he hung out in Florida for like 3 days with his dad. And he just the whole time, this is so much better. We're doing this next year. Fuck the cold. And so we're like, all right, let's go to Florida.
So you guys are doing Florida this year?
So we're going to do something. Yeah, we're going to do something. I don't know if we'll go back to Montana or not, but I'm leaving it up to them. So
alligator hunting, maybe
something that, or Texas hogs. I don't know. I'd love to shoot some out of a helicopter.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Cause that was Will's deal. He's like, yeah, to get me on the podcast, you got to come out, check out the operation, hang out with me in person, and let me fly you in the helicopter. I'm like, we'll talk about it. And then we never did it.
Yeah. Which was fun. Will and I actually bid a job together up here this year.
Really?
Yeah.
In North Dakota?
In North Dakota, about 30 minutes from Fargo. huge job, very tight time frames. And I'm like, we can't do this alone. So I approached Will with it. And I shouldn't
Wow.
say we bid this project. Will bid this project. But
Ah,
I was involved. And we sent it off and our numbers look good. It was like a $14 million project, right?
yep.
I think we were 14,072,000 or something. And we lost it by 72 grand.
No.
Yeah, somebody came in at 14 million even. And so I was telling Will and I were talking about this a while ago, and he's like, well, I'm going to fly up there. I'm going to meet those guys because he gave him the whole, I'm a farmer too, because it's a big farm. They're doing a
For
big
sure.
dairy expansion. And he's like, I'm flying up there. You and I are going to have that conversation with them. And then we're going to get phase two. And phase two is double the size on the other
Oh,
side of town.
that's
So
killer.
we're looking forward to that one. So that'll be a fun one.
Damn. 72 grand on a 14.
72 grand. So I'm like, now, and I even told Will, I was like, I know where we can cut our margins now. I mean,
Yeah.
and that was all rental equipment. So
Really? So
yeah,
what would he would send the guys out or
we were just going to collaborate together on it.
hmm,
Right. We were going to find
interesting.
local guys. We both were going to take on the risk. We were both going to take on the logistics of it
Sure.
and just work together. So
Wow. That would have been awesome. I mean, it could still happen in the future.
phase two, we'll keep you updated if that one comes to fruition. We're kind of hoping so because I'd love to get Will up here because he's like I'd come up there, every other week. I'd stay with you. I'm like, got your bed ready, dude. Come on out.
Your bed ready. Yeah, if we could still make that happen, I'm sure maybe in the future here we'll go out to Indiana and go see him and have
Oh
a
yeah,
little impromptu. We'll get you back in the co-host seat and we'll have him on
absolutely.
the podcast.
That would be a fun one because Will's the guy. You have a conversation with him and you come out with it 10 times smarter than you were going into it.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
We I got my tickets booked to Dirt World Summit. I think I booked them last year because I didn't want to
Awesome.
miss it this year. So it'd be fun to. I saw Will out there when I was there 2 years ago, I think, and
Okay. Yep.
great guy. But yeah, if anyone's listening, going to Dirt World Summit, let me know. Love to see you out there. Have you've been golfing a lot? I see.
I've been golfing a shit ton, dude, which is not good. But I'll be honest, the golf course is the best place to take people
Yeah,
for whether it's new hires, whether it's future
yeah, good point.
clients, whether it's just the appreciation of clients. I mean, we live on a golf course just kind of south of town.
Yeah,
And so it's super easy for me. But, obviously, kind of going back to Trav, it's fun to have Trav on board to where we can bring these people out and just
yeah,
take them golfing, buy their drinks, have a good time. And I mean, something as simple as $100 round that we cover for this general contractor, this PM or whatever it is, goes a really long way. So we're like,
dude.
dude, let's just keep golfing. So Trav and I have
Yeah,
put some swings in this year. That's for sure.
yeah, that's good. You scratch golfer yet or?
Right now I'm a 2-2 handicap.
Wow.
So it's really it's improved.
Dude, that's awesome.
But
Yeah, no
that's been
shame
fun.
in that.
No, not
I
at all.
at the first time I went to the Dirt World Summit, they had this I think they called it like the Dirt World Open. It was a golf tournament.
Yeah.
And
Was that
I
in Dallas or Texas
that
somewhere,
first
right?
one was yeah, it was Houston.
Yeah.
And I got to golf with Jason Richmond, the COO of BuildWit now, and he was so unassuming. Like I've known him for a long time, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm excited to swing the sticks a little bit." He was amazing. Like he
Was he a
carried our
good
entire
golfer?
team. Such a good golfer. I'm like, of course you
Love
are.
that. Of
Yeah.
course you are. We saw Jason at Will's wedding.
Oh, he was there too.
He was there, yeah.
I suppose he's out in Indiana.
Yep. Yep. So that was the first time I met him in person and we were having Yinglings.
What is that?
Yinglings. It's like a southern beer and it is one of the best beers you'll ever have. So if you're on like the southern hemisphere or whatever they call that, the latitude longitude line, ask for a Yingling.
Yingling.
Yep.
All right. They had
Super
those in
good.
Indiana. Is Indiana South?
Apparently I didn't realize it was south enough for those. Maybe Will imported them. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they were
Imported
great.
them from a different country.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it. So Gosh, this is so good. With Western, kind of going back to business,
Yep.
you talked about the Great Reset, talked about everything. What have you seen or what have you done differently when it comes to the culture? And I think as you go further into business, like you can even go back to 2018, starting Black Iron and going through the years, but culture becomes a much bigger deal the bigger you get.
100%.
Have you seen anything different? What have you done? Maybe that's been different through the years, and how has that helped Western
Yeah.
kind of get to its point right now?
I think letting people within the company help build the culture has really helped us.
Mm.
Right. So at like the end of every year, these last 2 years, what we've done, we've sat down in what we call our leadership, right? We've got our leadership group within the company to where we'll make decisions, we'll make votes on certain things.
Yeah.
We'll just have conversations as far as what's good, what's bad, your highs, your lows, and kind of talk amongst each other week by week. I mean, I've got 7 texts from our Western leadership chat right now. And so we're kind of always in and out of that. But at the end of the
Yeah.
year, we'll sit down and we'll come up with, hey, there was a gray area in this portion, right? Say it was per diem. Hey, the
Yeah.
guys aren't super clear on what the per diem rules are and what that looks like. How can we make that look better? Oh, well, we just need to write better verbiage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take a note of that. Who's going to take that task? Luke, you're going to take that task. Okay. Sounds good. Let's have this rolled out by next week. And we kind of go through our weaknesses at that meeting. And then we try to figure out solutions on how we can fix them. And then after that leadership meeting, we'll get everybody in, talk about the changes and kind of get their feedback as well. Because then honestly, the guys are the ones that have the concerns. They pose different questions. So then we can go back to the drawing board if we need to and figure out, this isn't going to work. So let's try this. And then we have our final and then we go over everything. So I feel like that's really helped kind of create our culture.
Yeah.
And just, setting standards is one of the most important keys in culture building, I feel like, because if you don't have standards, you don't really have a culture because you need something to fall back on as far as like an authority. If somebody's acting out or not within their authority, they almost need to be checked of like, this is what you need to be doing, and that helps keep everybody accountable. And it helps kind of keep that culture of like always wanting more, wanting to achieve the next steps. How can I grow within the company? How can I continue to build, my livelihood as somebody within the company with this company?
Yeah. I mean, that's so good. And really what I'm hearing there and what we're going through as well is it's so much bigger than just the owner or you and Cole or myself. And it's the decisions we make and the culture and the standard isn't what the owner wants. It's what the business needs and what the business wants.
Correct.
And a lot of times too, when you develop a leadership team, as you start to grow, it's a collective of what is best for the business. And yes, the owners have the final say, but when the owners kind of give up some of that or relinquish some of that stubbornness of like, I want to hear out my leadership team of what we think is best for the business, then you can start making decisions as a team. And then of course that trickles down to the rest of your team of these are the standards for Western or these are the standards for Phaser instead of like, these are Luke's standards.
Correct.
And then, and two, like you stop acting as an individual and you start acting as a team.
Correct. And just acting as a team, people feel more empowered. They feel more appreciated and they feel more involved within the company.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to have those meetings and get people's perspectives. When we used to have them really early on, it'd almost be like we came up with these set of ideas and rules and now you guys are completely shutting them down. It's, you'd have the mentality of like, well, this is my company. I'm going to do what I want to do. But that is a terrible culture. And we realize that because we did lose some really good people in the industry. And so it's fun to look back at it now, but it's, your tuition paid of like, maybe that guy won't ever talk to you again, or, you see him and he waves, but you can never go out and have a conversation to where it's like, yeah, that's your mistake. You as the owner have to eat it, but now you have to adapt and make sure it doesn't happen in the future.
All right, you dirtbags, I'm going to interrupt this incredible viewing of episode 100 with Luke Payne to give a huge shout out and thanks to Eljen Corporation. As you guys know, as you heard in the 4th of July special with Drew Nicolai, Eljen is one of our three main sponsors of the Dirtbags podcast. Without them, without Sledgehammer, without Charlie Huff, we don't have this podcast. So massive thanks to Eljen. For over 4 decades, Eljen has been leading the charge in innovative, reliable, and engineer-friendly septic solutions. Their signature GSF system is NSF 40 certified, ASTM tested, and designed to thrive in even the most unpredictable soil conditions. With its multi-stage filtration process, smaller footprint, and lower maintenance, it's become the trusted go-to for contractors who want performance they can count on. Guys like Dervin with Dig It Excavating, Joe and Jessica with Pro Septic, and many others are using it in the industry. So definitely reach out to our friends at Eljen, see if you can get a demo, see if you can get a sample, go out to one of their demo days, and definitely jump on board. So you can give them a follow at Eljen Corporation. That's ELJEN Corporation. Or you can check out their website, eljen.com. So go check them out. And thank you for listening to this episode. We're going to jump right back into episode 100. Let's do it. Absolutely. What frequency do you have these leadership meetings? Is it set schedule, or is it kind of whenever you guys are in the office, or how does that work?
So we have 2 meetings a week, and we call this our cadence meeting.
Okay.
So our cadence meeting is supposed to, so we have that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And our cadence meeting is really kind of designed to help come up with what we call our 3-week look ahead. So we figure out our schedule for 3 weeks. We figure out movements. We figure out manpower. We figure out, hey, this is going to be a problem. How can we fix this within, our Thursday, from Tuesday to Thursday? How can this get resolved? And so I feel like that's helped us a lot, be able to kind of foresee issues that really cause the guys in the field a lot of stress. And so that's really helped. But then like our yearly or our year-end meetings, that's where we kind of divulge into the problems. That's where we really get into the meat and potatoes of like, hey, guys loved this. How can we incorporate into a different portion of the business? And guys absolutely hated this. What do we need to change going into next year?
Yeah. What, do you have a certain time limit on the meetings? Is it an hour, 90 minutes, or?
They last a full day.
A full day. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. We kind of block everything off for a day.
Okay.
Everybody comes in, we sit around our conference table and we just hammer things out. And I mean,
awesome. Our
last year, I think we had 2 of them, but they took all day.
Okay. So I'm so glad you brought that up because, I don't remember the exact quote, but it's like the success you'll see in business is the amount of issues you solve and work on. Yes. And we are, our team said this today, is our team became less problem focused and more solution focused. And I was like, gosh, I love that. And our job, especially as business owners or as members of the leadership team, is to always be solving problems, is to always be finding these solutions. And to block off a full day seems crazy to a lot of people, even listening, even myself. But the more you do it, the more you realize how far you can get when you do that.
You can get super far.
But it takes you not running the dozer every single day for 12 hours to be able to have the time to do that. And it takes the right people on your team to help out, and so that you can have these meetings and make the company itself better. And it takes time to get there. I mean, I'm sure in 2019 at Black Iron, you weren't having these meetings, but
dude, no, you thought I thought I knew everything,
right.
2 years in business. I'm like, this is fucking easy. And going back to my notes page, like you should see it. I took a picture of it because I'm like, I think I was balancing my bank account with like expenses in my notes of like, what's coming out, what payables
in your notes app.
Yeah, no, I'll show you here. You'll laugh. It's on my handy dandy notepad.
Oh no,
dude, this is dated like early 2018 and it's hilarious.
Gosh, that's awesome.
I don't know how he survived, but in those years, you're like, I know everything there is to know about this industry.
Dude, it's funny. And once you kind of get out of your own way, because even in 2025, as much as you know now, or as much as I know
Mhm.
now, you know that you know far less than you're ever going to know.
Correct.
That margin of growth is never bigger than it is today. And that's just, in my opinion, just the business mindset, the entrepreneur mindset, the strive for growth. But for some reason, when you start out, like you feel like you're almost at the top.
You feel like you're king of the hill, right? I'm doing things, and social media doesn't help because you get all these people that are like, be your own boss and it's the best thing in the world. And once you
Yeah.
become that, you're like, oh, I'm doing what nobody else could do.
This is this is from 2019, my expenses.
Dude, fucking same thing. That is hilarious. That is
That is awesome.
hilarious.
I didn't know I still had these.
I love how you just pulled that out in like 2 seconds too. So, and then you pull, well, I don't know. I still have these.
I don't have much on my shelf. I've got like 4 folders, and yeah, sure enough, there it is.
There it is. The Phaser expense report of 2019.
Man, that's crazy. Gosh, yeah, it was so much we're spending so much less money at that time.
I know it's kind of like, those were kind of the days. And I feel like everybody's so growth motivated, which is great. You obviously want to grow your companies, but I think people forget to like appreciate where they are and
Yeah.
realize like opportunity comes at a cost. What is that cost? And understanding like the risks associated. Because I'll bring it back to 2014 with Western, right? We did phenomenal revenue, but we did not have the financial backing
Yeah.
behind us to be where we were. There's some days I'm like, I don't know how the fuck we even made payroll, but we
Yeah.
did. But it's like, don't just appreciate where you're at, build that foundation, and then brick by brick, build it. Don't, you know, don't dig the hole and try to set the trusses of your house. That won't work.
Gosh, yeah, it just makes you think too, especially with Western. I mean, it just took off so quickly, and it's not, and I guess maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, would you do anything different in that?
No,
See, that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like, I don't
I
think
wouldn't.
you would, because then you wouldn't have this kind of reset year
Mm-hmm.
where I feel like this is where the growth is coming from. It's just a different type of growth.
It's a different type of growth, but I mean, I got a lot of gray hairs as I'm 29 years old now. I feel like, because of it, but it is what it is. But
You
yeah, I
don't
mean, answer
you
your
don't have gray hair.
oh, dude, in my beard, if you could, in the right light, they're pretty gray. I'll tell you what.
That's blonde.
I don't know. Riley's the one that's telling me they're gray. But I don't think I would change anything because I think that's what brought us to where we are today, and the
Yeah.
opportunities that we have in front of us were because of that.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, there's a lot of people, we've been really fortunate that we could make those things, but you hear, the opposite end where other people weren't. And that can kill, I don't want to say kill somebody, but that can kill their business, and that can
Yeah.
just completely ruin them financially.
Absolutely. And I definitely think there's certain situations and certain decisions where it's like, yeah, if I could go back, I'd tell myself not to do that.
For sure.
Uh, at the same time too, you somehow get to this point because of those lessons, and
Yep.
some of the hardest lessons we learned were from some of the most, depressing moments in business. But that's how you almost become scarred from it, and how you'll
Yep.
never do that again. And I don't think you develop that scar until you do some of that stupid stuff.
Correct.
And honestly, I feel like myself, like I've done a lot of stupid things, but they've been very minuscule compared to what it could have been. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel very fortunate, very blessed for that. But I've also talked to a lot of people and been mentored and coached by a lot of people who have made much bigger mistakes and issues, and they've kind of taught me and told me what not to do. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
as we do this podcast, and especially as we've had 80 to 100 guests on the podcast, it's like you kind of learn from other people what not to do. And I think you're ignorant if you don't listen to what
Yep.
other people are telling you of like, hey, don't do this. You will be in a lifetime of hurt. And
Hmm.
I think that's just education. But then there's some things, of course, where you do have to go through yourself.
You do. I mean, it's your tuition. You get your knowledge base through the experiences, especially in the excavation world. So you can't short yourself through that. But I mean, you definitely can avoid certain things if you are smart, right? Don't think because you do a shit ton in revenue, you're going to be super profitable. You could do $5 million in business and make 800,000 and be laughing, or you could do $30 million in business and make 800,000
Yeah,
and you're stressed as hell.
absolutely.
Right. So it's like pick your poison, operate your business, figure out the inefficiencies, and then start building your foundation from there, taking on those additional risks, taking on different realms through your company, different services through your company. Don't go, head first, dip your toes in, see how it goes. You know, nobody is really, that was one of the things that I always thought is like, nobody really cares what you're up to. It's cool to
Yeah.
see what you're doing, but nobody is ever like, man, really wish I could be that person right now.
Mm-hmm.
They can appreciate like, oh, cool, they got a new dozer. Good for them. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But no one's like, damn, they've made, or, maybe some people are, but they should never look at it that way either.
Dude, I think that's a great realization that people can have. People think about you a lot less than you think, if that makes
100%.
sense. And
100%.
for some reason, and not speaking like for myself, but I've talked to a lot of people that they care so much what other people think.
Mhm.
And many times you almost have to humble yourself. It's like people don't
You
care
do.
that much about what's going on in your life, no matter how bad or how good you think they do care.
Hmm.
Most people are worried about their own lives. And
Yeah.
so when you start focusing on your own family, your own business, I think that's where good things can spur.
Yeah. The realization of you're really not that important
Yeah,
to some people
it's
is a
good.
pretty good one to have. Yeah.
And if you've never had that, it's probably going to hurt right away,
Yep.
but you need it.
But yeah. And you'll be just fine.
Yeah. No, it's, gosh, even, and it, when it comes, and there's a level of like competitor analysis I think you can do that's
Hmm.
healthy. But if you're just obsessing over your competitors and what they're doing and how they're doing things and all of this, it's like, it's just coming from a sense of envy and jealousy. And it's,
Correct.
you need that brain power and that bandwidth to focus on your own company and your own people, not
Correct.
other people's
Not somebody
businesses.
else's. Yeah. And you don't know their story. You don't know
Um,
what they've gone through, right? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. So
yeah, it's greener over the septic tank.
absolutely. Usually over the septic tank.
Oh
That's
man.
that's a good
What
one.
so what else we got going on? So it's obviously August. It's been a year since we've recorded. Anything fun coming up to the end of the year here? Anything in 2026, personal, business? Um, as I just realized we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. Got
I
to
know time
kick it
flies when
back a
you're having
little
fun.
bit, but anything fun coming up? Anything exciting you want to mention on the show as we kind of wrap up here?
Um, we're gonna be trying for our third here come September. Wes gave us a fucking hell of a run, but we're still living. So we're like, let's do a third. We forgot about it.
So
So
you alluded to that a little bit, I think earlier, but we talked about it before we started recording. The first 6 months when Wes was born, you mentioned you probably wouldn't have been that great on the podcast.
no, dude, he was the worst sleeper of kids. I wanted to punt that little kid across the room multiple times.
Poor Wes.
I know.
Oh,
Now I'm
man.
like, the kid is just, he's just a
He
little copy paste.
he looks like a Payne. I mean,
Yeah. He's got the pain genes to
Payne,
him.
of course.
Yeah. Well, both. Um,
Yeah,
but no, he's great now, and it's fun. His first is August 10th, or October 10th. Lila's birthday. She turns 5 tomorrow, so that'll be really fun.
I saw that. Yeah.
Um, I mean, other than that, I'm just excited to kind of take on the rest of the year, see where that brings us. Our shop will finally be done. Hopefully middle to end of September, we'll be able to
Okay.
move. So that's exciting for us.
So middle to end of September. Yeah, gosh, it'd be great to come see it. I'll be up in Minnesota a few weeks in September.
Should come see it. Let me
Like
know when you're by.
few weeks in a row. So
Yeah.
how has that process been?
Dude, it's been a fun process. I mean,
Really?
we had one of the contractors that I've gotten to have a pretty good relationship with, and we we don't really do residential anymore. We've kind of nixed that
Yeah.
from our services, but he also does commercial. And so, with the respect from him on what he'd given us in the previous years, we're like, we're only coming to you with this. Here's kind of our
Wow.
budget. Let's build it. And he's been awesome. His name is Corey Altoff, and then his brother actually owns or is the president of Quality Concrete in town. And
Oh yeah.
I've got
Wow.
to know him really well, and it's just been a great relationship. I can't say enough good things about those two because they own it together. So
Wow. That's awesome. So tell me more about the shop. What was the decision to build a shop? And then also, is it more space? What's it going to look like? Any things you're doing there?
yeah, we couldn't find anything to buy. There's nothing around this area that is like build a suit or
Sure.
readily available for excavating, right? So we were like, okay, let's build. We had bought it's like 3 or 3.5 acres down in Horace, pretty close
Yep.
to my house actually. So we'll have all the yard space we need. All of our machinery will finally be able to have a home when we come back for the winters. We'll be able to maintenance everything at the shop. Our offices will be at the shop. We'll all be able to be in one central location versus two different shops throughout
Yeah.
Fargo and then our office.
Gotcha. So right now, do you have like a yard where the equipment would go and then a separate spot for the offices just for our listeners to kind of get an
Yeah.
idea of that?
So like in Fargo, we had to rent shop space, office space, yard space throughout these different areas throughout Fargo. And I mean, our office is totally different from where our yard is. Our yard is totally different from where our shop is. So there's a lot of moving parts. But now we'll be finally one central location. We'll have everything there. We'll have enough room for whatever we need to do. And yeah, it'll be nice.
Dude, that's awesome. And when you're building a shop like that, it's because obviously I've never built a shop like
Mm.
that or had an HQ, I guess, as you could say. Did you put a lot of thought into what would go where, or is that kind of after the fact, after it's built? Is it kind of more, let's get the structure up, let's get all the ideas going, like in a rough draft, and then you'll kind of build in maybe the interior culture from there? Or what are your thoughts after
Yeah.
it's built?
Again, hats off to Corey. He was the one that kind of made you think about that of like,
Interesting.
as we were going through the design phase of like, hey, have you thought about this? This space isn't being utilized. Could it be turned into anything else that you guys could utilize? You had a
That's
very
so
good,
nice.
yeah. And I mean, like you said, that was the first time I had ever built anything other than a house.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, I don't fucking know. But
Right.
he's just so good at asking questions of like, okay, well then, if it's facing this way, you're going to have more natural light. You can have less lights on the inside. If you're configured like this, you're going to utilize more yard space and have more, area for everything else you need. And it's just like, yep, let's do that.
Yeah. I feel like you're similar to me where we need somebody like that because otherwise
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. But then when he brings up a good point, like the natural light coming in from the west
Yep.
or the east or whatever, I'm like, that sounds way better.
That
But I
sounds
never
great.
would have thought about it or cared until after the fact. And so having somebody like that potentially cares more than you do at
Yep.
that moment is very important.
It is. And then like we did our electrical walkthrough a couple of weeks ago, and Becky, one of our accounting team personnel, she used to be in the general contracting
Yeah.
area, right? She was one of their main designers, and so I was like, Becky, I need you to come with me to this electrical
Sure.
walkthrough. She's like, yeah, no, it sounds good. And the electrician's asking me these questions, and I'm like, yeah, sounds good. Put an outlet there, and Becky's like, nope, you got to think about how the door opens. You got to think about how your desk is going to be fixated. You got
Wow.
to think about floor outlets. And I was like, okay, you take over.
Okay, I'm not the right person for this job.
Yeah. So she did it all. And I'm like, I wouldn't have thought about
Yeah.
90% of the things that she came up with.
I'm such a satisfizer. Like I'm just like, yeah, sounds good. Just send me the
I'm like, yeah,
bill. We'll take
sounds
care of
good.
it. And
Yep.
you know what you're
Do it.
doing. But yeah, when you have somebody like Becky on your team that's just like, hold on, let's do it right.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You gonna have like a housewarm or not a housewarming, but a open house or anything?
No, it's cool that some people do that, but for me, it's like,
Get to work.
no, you get to
Let's
work.
get
I
after
mean,
it. Yeah.
nobody, I feel like, and maybe this is just in my head, if people want to come see it, stop by,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I'm not going to have an open house and try to get people there. I just get the
Yeah.
fuck off
No.
my yard.
Right. Exactly. No, and I feel like that's just kind of your MO too, where you're just like, yeah, stop by anytime
Yep.
and we'll hang out, have a good time and everything and come check out the shop. But yeah, we don't need to do a big party for it.
No, no, no. So I'm excited to get in there. I feel like that'll alleviate some headaches within the company too, of
Yeah.
just the division between all the properties. But other than that, nothing really exciting going through the end of the year. Obviously, like I said, try to hopefully get a third one coming here. And then we've got some fun trips through the winter. We always go to Florida, in
With
end of February, early
the
March with
family,
the
right?
fam. Yep.
Yeah.
We all fly down. We spend a week down there. Con Expo looking really fun, or look forward to. Trip with Will, Dylan, and Taylor looking forward to. And yeah, man. How about yourself?
We man, it's so also just started trying and
Good for you guys.
yeah, it, it's like step one of the whole process.
Yep.
Like even today, learning about cycles and like how
Yep.
that works, and I so green to it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's super exciting because it's also not in our hands, right?
No.
We're gonna do our best, and it's ultimately in God's hands of whether we can or will, but it's been super interesting and fascinating to learn.
To
But
learn about it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like excited for that potential next chapter. And I think regardless, it'll be my next chapter. We just got back, I mean, a couple days ago, I guess, from this episode recording we went on a 2-month trip overseas and left the business in our team's hands and they absolutely crushed it. And that helped me delegate a lot of my tasks and then elevate our team members.
Yep.
And it's been better than I could have ever imagined, but also I'm not surprised because our team is just some of my favorite people and they are thoroughbreds, they're A players and it's almost like getting me out of the way was the opportunity that they didn't know they need to become the leaders that they
Yep.
actually are. And I was excited for it. They were excited for it and it went better than expected. And so now as I come back, my role has changed a lot. And
Good.
like I mentioned earlier, I don't do any sales calls anymore.
Yep.
It's more probably similar to you, like more just business development. It's like I'm still super, super involved, obviously podcasting, speaking, talking with a lot of our clients and potential future prospects. But also I just got I'm in a mastermind group called the 7-Figure Agency, started there in 2021. And that's really helped coach me through building a company and just got hired on as a coach there. So I started this
Hell
week.
yeah, the 7-figure agency, right? I saw
Yeah.
that on your story. Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks, man. And so now I get like, I think unofficially before I was mentoring and coaching business owners and entrepreneurs, but now I get to do it with a company and a structure and one that I'm very much a part of and also get paid for it. And then also from that, make sure our agency is using top, or actually just making sure our agency is on the brink of innovation and that we're implementing everything that we need to be implementing. So
absolutely.
Yeah, dude, it looks different for me and I'm super excited for it. And I think just the ability to help coach others and just continue to build our business is super exciting to me because
Yep.
at the end of the day, like I don't love Google Analytics and
Mm,
I do love SEO, but things like that. I
yep.
just love talking business. I love talking business with you. I love talking business with people on our podcast. I love talking business with marketing agency owners and whoever owns a business, just trying to ask the right questions to help them provide an answer that
Yep.
maybe they didn't even know they had in them. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, dude,
Oh,
it's,
that's cool, dude. Well, congrats to you again. And Olivia, obviously, for taking that journey into parenthood. Good for you guys.
yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. And it's super exciting. And I know, it's like I mentioned, it's not in our hands and we'll see how it
Yep.
goes, but also, um, we're very blessed even just to be here. So excited to,
Absolutely.
it's crazy to think like, obviously you having two children, like
Mm.
two mini yous.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's so fun.
It's wild.
It's such a, you can't explain it. You just have to experience it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like the support that you have, of course, and the support that I have with our families and our friends, and even just a lot of the people in the industry and a lot of people listening to the podcast that just would give any advice, would any tips, tricks,
Yeah.
anything needed. So it seems like everyone's always willing to help when you
Oh, yeah.
actually become a parent, especially.
Absolutely. Because they, most parents get it. They know what it's like. They
Yeah.
remember the times. And yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But yeah, man. So that's about it. And then we're doing a few speaking presentations, at some conferences, and then Con Expo will be a lot of fun. On the next couple episodes here, we'll start to formulate definitely want to do a get together, something with the dirtbags, get everyone
Yep.
together. And so we'll get that figured out, hammer out some details and go from there.
Hell yeah, brother. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right, dude. Well, happy episode 100. We cleared out the whiskey. And dude, it's awesome to have you back on and excited for more to come. We'll fly out to Indiana, get Will on the podcast and keep it rolling from there.
Well, honored you asked me, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.